Okay. Hey guys, Chad Oliver here with the Banner, and we're doing a special breakfast with the Banner this morning. We're out here at Ivy Manor Bed and Breakfast, and of course, many of you guys know if you pass here on Hopkinsville Road, you see this very beautiful old house. And of course, we're here with Lori and Debbie here today, and we're going to talk about a little bit about Ivy Manor, how they got started, what all they've done here, because it's if you've never been here before, we're just in the opening, and it is so beautiful out here. And of course, we've got a beautiful day out today, and what better time than to come out here and chat with Lori and Debbie and see what all Ivy Manor has to offer, and just all the work that they've put into Ivy Manor. So Lori and Debbie, it's good to see you guys this morning.
Thank you for coming out.
My name's Debbie Smiley, and me and Lori have been friends for a long time. I think since our children were young, going to church together, and we just kept growing together, and our daughters are best friends. And I think what got us a little bit into it was when they got married. We learned all kinds of things from Pinterest, and that's been about 8 years ago or so. And they wanted this and they wanted that, and so we had to create it, and they would look up pictures and things for food, and it was just, I think that got us started. And then Lori came up with this idea, so I'll let her talk some now.
So Ivy Manor started with my grandmother having this house in the 70s and the 80s. She lived here and she remodeled it, and we've got some pictures maybe that we'll show you in a little bit. But so it was a rental house after my grandmother moved out, and sometimes that was good and sometimes that was not. So we just decided that we wanted to do something different, and Debbie and I were both close to leaving our former jobs, so we needed something to do. So we thought, well, we'll just turn this into a bed and breakfast, and we wanted to maybe do showers and teas and birthday parties. So we incorporated a room for that, which we'll show you in a little bit.
So, former jobs, what was it that you got? I know what you did before. Why don't you explain to those who are watching what you guys did before, and what made you go this route? Because this is a different route from what you've done before.
So I was a school teacher, 8th grade math, for 27 years, and again, we owned this house and just wanted to definitely have something to do after teaching. Can't sit home forever. Right. That gets old, so we wanted to stay busy. Yeah. And like she's already said, we were friends, and this just kind of seemed like a natural progression for us to team up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I used to work at First Southern National Bank I started as a teller and then went to customer service, and I worked there for over 20 some years, and I decided to retire last fall when things were just crazy with my family and with this, so we just kept busy, and it just keeps expanding every year, so just enjoy it.
So I know this is a big change of pace, but it's a good change of pace, because it seems to me this is probably more relaxing to do. And of course, I know with the upkeep of the house and everything, that's probably a lot to undertake. And of course, I can tell for you guys who haven't been out here before, I know you've done a lot of remodeling out here, and it's beautiful. I know I keep on looking at the old phone on the wall back there. That caught my eye when we came in, and of course, I'm sure it doesn't work. No. Does it? But it would be cool if it did. But I know I've heard a lot of stories from my mom growing up. She grew up down at Hobson's store, and that's the kind of phone, of course, they had on their wall and everything. So it's kind of cool just to see those and kind of bringing it back to the way the house used to be. Because I know we've passed this house many times going to Hopkinsville, and we've always commented on this house, passing by how beautiful it was just on the outside, and to come on the inside. I'm sure the work that's gone into it was probably quite a big undertaking, wasn't it?
It was. My husband and Debbie's husband did the majority of the work. Of course, we hired plumbers and electricians and some of those things, but a lot of the work our husbands and we pitched in as well and did the remodel. That project started about 3 years ago now, I guess, and we're not professionals, so the remodel took us about 2 years. And we've been open since January of last year, so a little over a year we've been open. And we do the bed and breakfast. We have 3 bedrooms, and we'll show you those. We have those 3 bedrooms, and when our guests are here, we cook them breakfast in the kitchen. They have access to their room. A bed and breakfast is a little different than some are used to. I guess with Airbnb and VRBO, they're used to maybe getting the whole house. But our concept is we provide your bedroom and a bathroom and then breakfast the next morning. They do have the sitting room, the living room in here that they have access to. And then, of course, the yard and the grounds that they can sit out and relax, watch the deer, watch the Amish drive by, just hopefully unwind and relax here.
See, I've never been to a bed and breakfast before, and it's kind of cool. So I guess they just kind of have the come and go as they please.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have a key to their door, so their bedroom locks, and then they have a key to the front door. So if we're not here, they can let themselves in and out.
You know, it's really cool to see this here in Princeton, because Princeton does, I guess this is really the first, isn't it?
I think there was a bed and breakfast.
There was. Okay, there was.
Street.
And but to have something like this here in Princeton, of course, Princeton's grown a lot over the past few years, and being this close to the lakes, this gives people an opportunity, just to come here out in the country. It's not your typical hotel. I'd rather stay in a place like this because it's more homey than going to a hotel. And just to know that you have breakfast, that you're going to cook breakfast in the morning, might make me just want to come and stay a night. I know my wife and I were talking about how she would like to come and stay just a night, just to get away in Princeton. Of course, we asked you about that. Would you want to come and, do people come and stay from Princeton here? And of course you say, really not a lot.
Not a lot. We have had a couple. We've had some anniversary type couples that came to spend the night, and we do chocolate covered strawberries and roses if they choose to do that. So we try to do some special things for our couples. We've had some wedding couples on their honeymoon come in and just spend the night before they go off to their destination, and we just try to make that special for them.
I'll have to keep that in mind for our anniversary. We've got 19 years coming up in October, so I'll have to keep that in mind, because this would be a good little getaway, here in Princeton, and not have to spend the money on gas really to travel. So it'd be great. So guys, why don't you take us around a little bit? You'll have to excuse the internet may be a little spotty, so if we cut out, just bear with us and we'll be back on. So, but guys, why don't you take us around, and we'll follow you, and you just lead us where you want us to go.
Okay, so we'll start in the kitchen.
Okay.
So when we have guests here, this is where we serve them breakfast. And you'll notice the fireplace. Our house has 4 fireplaces, original to the house. So we cook breakfast, and they sit here at the table. Our breakfasts are nothing fancy. They just consist of a good hot country breakfast that we try to provide. We do make allowances for gluten allergies and nut allergies, and if someone's doing low carb or something, we try to keep that in mind. But this is where breakfast happens.
So how far does the house go back? Do you know what year it was built?
The house was built in 1847, and the original house was this room, the foyer that we were in, and then the living room and the 3 rooms above it. That was the original. And when we go back out in the foyer, I'll show you what my grandmother added in the 70s when she remodeled.
Okay, yeah, because you can tell by looking, it has that, you can tell the 1800s from the outside, because we've always we've commented on that, how it looks like it goes back to war times, and the aesthetics of it from the outside. So it's really cool. Why don't we go on this way, and you guys can show us some more.
This is the sitting room or relaxing room. People come down here to read a book or just hang out, and it's we've used a backdrop for our tea that we have, and coming up we have one on April the 30th. So people will come down here and we'll take their picture in front of it so they can keep it for a souvenir that they've been here. But of course the fireplace is original, and we've got a couple of old antiques, and that's one of Lori's old antiques that she keeps. And some of the pieces we picked up at different places, but some of them are actually ours. So, but
It's so pretty in here, and just that's so cool that that's the original
yes,
fireplace.
Yeah,
It's
Well, there's a bit of a story about this fireplace.
Okay.
You can see it's quite a bit rougher than in the kitchen, and it was plastered over. And so my husband and I thought, that we're probably going to find something really neat and special back there. So we tore the plaster out, and soot fell down and filled the room. And you can see it's not as pretty. It's not as finished looking. But for now, that's how we're going to leave it, and we may spruce it up a little bit in the future. But it is all original. And interestingly, when we had to take the mantle off the wall, and we found an old tintype photo of a gentleman, all snazzed up in a suit. And it was just a neat find. Don't know who he is, when he lived here, or why his picture probably sat on the mantle at one time and fell back behind and just got lost. But just a neat find.
I like the way the fireplace looks. I think I would almost leave it that way with the history that's behind it.
Well, it's 50-50. Some will say, oh, yeah, I like it, leave it like that. And others will say, you might want to do something to that. So it's another project for our husbands.
yes.
It's so
We
cool.
like to keep them very busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. My wife says the same thing too. So it's really cool, though, to know the history of the people who've passed through here. Talking about that photo, don't know who it was, but the stories I'm sure that the walls could tell from this house is really cool. So.
And that's another thing. If anyone in the community has stories or information about the history of this home, we would sure love to hear it. We do know Mr. Pollard, William Pollard, built the house in 1847. And we've gone to the courthouse and done some research, but we don't have a whole lot of information. Right. So anyone with historical information, we would love to hear the stories.
It's so cool, though, because Princeton's full of history, and of course you talk about, the Black Patch, and then the tobacco wars, that were through here. And of course, I'm sure this house probably has something maybe years ago to do with that. Who knows?
Could be. We haven't heard any of that. I do know that the front of the house used to be the back, because 91 was on the other side of the house at one point. And so different things have happened over the years, but what you see in the front used to be the backyard.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. So that's.
And we're also on the way that the Trail of Tears went also. And the bike riders are going to stop here this year. And we're going to accommodate June 4th.
As they make their trek through, they're going to stop and refresh here.
Yeah, that's really cool, because I know we followed that last year and got some good interviews with them. And so that's really cool that they're going to be able to stop here and refresh, because I'm sure that'll be a change of pace for them, because this is very relaxing to come in here. I really don't want to leave and go back to work after this. But well, why don't we go through here and see some more. Here's if you want to take a glimpse of this picture right here. Do you know when was this from?
So this was taken at the front of the house when my grandmother, before she started the remodel. So it would have been about 1972 or 3. And she added the columns on the front porch and changed out the door there. And you can see on the right-hand side, there was another door, and that got bricked over, and now it's just a window over the kitchen sink.
Yeah, that's really neat. Really. So that's always been the kitchen then. Has that always been the kitchen?
The whole time my grandmother was here, it was the kitchen.
Okay.
Before that, I'm not
sure.
Right.
Of course, here's some more photos if you want to take a glimpse of these. Do you know how far these go back?
This was taken the same time. Over here on the right, that is the back of the house, which used to be the front. And this picture would have been before they tore the porch off, also on the back. And that little girl standing down there in the corner, that's me. So this
That's
would,
you.
Mm-hmm. So this would have been about 72 or 3.
You could have lied about that year, Lori, a little bit.
And so this is the front, the middle one here. This is the front of the house again, like you saw in the living room. And you get a little better picture there of that door that used to be, and now it's a window over the kitchen sink. So the house was configured just a little bit differently, but still, it looks a lot like it used to.
That's really neat. So your history here goes quite a bit back, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, my grandmother again was here in the 70s. She lived here in the 70s and the 80s. So this opening right here is that door system that you see that was the back of the house. And of course we redid some woodwork and added some things, but on the other side of this doorway you can see the original door framing that was here from the get-go.
Oh, wow.
And so we've just painted that, and but you can see, you know, the crackled paint.
Yeah.
And actually this was a wall that we tore out. There was a small doorway right here, and we weren't even aware that these were here. So that was another find that we made during the remodel. That was really neat.
That is really, really neat.
And if you get back, you can see the top beam up there is kind of sagging.
Mm-hmm.
So Ty and Darren added these pillars or these columns to just give it support. But even in the picture over on the wall back in the 70s, it was swaying. So evidently the brick pushing down has been a force there for a while.
Yeah, that's really neat. Really neat.
So this bedroom was the garage. My grandmother added everything this side of the opening here.
Mm-hmm.
And she made that a garage, and this was her laundry room.
Oh, wow.
Over here. And so we've boxed in the garage.
I don't know if you can get a look in here. This is really neat. I love these stairs right here going down into the...
So that was the reason those steps are there. This was stepping down into the garage.
Right.
And then we had to add the bathroom, so you have to step up to get to the bathroom. So that's a little bit of a feat, but the brick wall was the original exterior of the home, and the window casings, we kept those, and then just put some wood there to...
I love the way that looks, though. I never would have thought to do something like that, though, the way you have the lights right there. It's so pretty.
And so those window casings, we didn't paint over those. So they're kind of the original chippy paint.
Mm-hmm.
And just add some character here to the house.
It really does. It really does add some character. And it stays nice and cool in here, too. I love the... Is this the original seat?
This is not. This is... we just had a vision, again, Pinterest. And we had a vision of a wood ceiling. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we added here in the garage. The bathroom around the corner. Debbie, you want to tell them about the vanity?
You got brick steps going up.
Oh, this is pretty.
This vanity, these logs were come out from underneath the house, so they're original. And my husband and Ty made that vanity, and so all we did was put some varnish on that, and it was polyurethane, and it just brought all that color out to it. So
I love it when people repurpose, from the house and take, and that's...
So we really love that one.
Oh, yeah, you should.
So it's very nice.
Yeah.
I wish it was in my house.
I know. Isn't that... That's so pretty, though.
So they worked hard on it, but they got it done.
And that's good sturdy wood, too.
Oh, yeah. It's very old and it's hard, very hard.
Not like they do things today, though.
No,
It's
I'm
good.
sure it's made out of oak, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really cool.
But this
really
is the
cool.
bathroom that goes with the bedroom.
Yeah.
So.
It's so pretty. So pretty.
So you might take a peek also at the big mirror in here.
I noticed that when we came through. That is,
When we have brides stay here, we just envisioned they needed a big mirror
yeah.
to see, and so we built that. And
I think that's
just added that to the room.
Our daughter needs that mirror.
I like a big mirror. When
Yeah.
I'm traveling, I like to have a mirror to see. So
Oh, definitely.
That was our vision there.
I don't know if we'd ever get our daughter away from the mirror if we had that in our house.
And we do let photographers come in. They rent out the room for a small price and take pictures. We've had baby pictures here, adult pictures. You know, it's just they pick where they want to take a picture, and it's just their idea. So
That's really cool. That's I don't know that I've ever seen a mirror that big before, like in a bedroom. So that's really cool.
Also in this room, you'll see the bench here and this chair over in the corner. Mm-hmm. So those came from Phyllis Robertson in Princeton. Okay. She just had some antiques, and they were in a storage building, and they were in terrible shape. Mm-hmm. And my mom, a neat story there. So my mom's mom is who lived here, so she helped me, and we refinished those and upholstered them, and that was our very first attempt at upholstery. So there's some flaws there, but from a distance they look really good, and we're just proud to have a little bit of old mixed in with the new in this room.
I think you did a good job. Good job. It's so pretty in here. So pretty. Well, we still got some more to see, don't we?
We do.
Okay.
So we have 2 more bedrooms in the event room upstairs, and we'll show you that.
Well, you guys just lead the way.
Another find from Miss Robertson was this stained glass that you can see here. She had that also in a storage building, and we already had the church pew, so we just felt like that was a great place to combine.
Oh, definitely.
Those two.
Yeah.
Just another sitting area if people are having showers or teas, or if they're just staying here, just a place to sit and talk.
Yeah.
and our husbands did this stairrail too.
Oh, wow.
They've become quite crafty.
I know you might have to loan them out now. People see this and
They've learned a lot, and they think every time a new project comes that they need to buy a new tool. So we try to keep them in projects that they already have the tools for.
I got you.
So they don't have to buy
It was
anything.
getting costly with the new tools.
With the new tools.
Because if Ty got one, Darren had to have one. So it was just like, oh my gosh.
They just can't share.
Got to have your own. This is really cool.
This is our event room. It does hold about 40 guests. We do have the chairs and the table that goes with the cost or the rental of the event room. It does come with 2 tables over there that you can use. And people just add
Decorations. They add their own decorations. Some have brought balloon arches. So when they have parties or showers or teas, they just decorate and make it their own. Just add to what's already here.
So what did this room used to be?
It wasn't a room. The garage is downstairs, so we hired somebody to frame this in and put the brick on the outside for us. So
we knew we wanted to do some functions, some events, so we really didn't have a big room, even though the rooms downstairs are 18 by 18, which is pretty big by our standards, but we just needed a bigger space, so we added this second floor. This room also has the brick that was the original outside of the house, and we just wanted to keep that and use that as a focal wall.
And Lori found those windows at an antique place, so I guess she probably got on Pinterest for that little idea too, because we wore that out, but so we fill it in and made it look nice.
They still do have the original window casings around them, and it's, the old chippy wood, and we just tried to incorporate as much of the old and keep it, restore it as we could.
Yeah, that's so pretty. And it looks like the windows that you found were original to the house. It really, so you really did a good job. Pinterest is good, isn't it?
Yes. So now we're going back into the old part of the house. This would have been original. So there were 3 rooms. This was just a big open room, and the bathrooms were added when my grandmother was here, and then we just reconfigured a little bit. So this bathroom, when there's an event, they get to use this bathroom, and our husbands again did the tile floor for us. You hear that common thread a lot, don't you? Our husbands. The white tile on the wall is what my grandmother put in the bathroom when she remodeled in the 70s. So we kept that, and then just added some of the finishes to go along with that. This bathroom is also used by guests that stay in the bluegrass room. That's the only bedroom that doesn't have the bathroom inside of it. So we'll show you the bluegrass room over there. So our plan here is to do some Kentucky agriculture themes. We want to get some pictures on the wall of tobacco and corn and cattle and just Kentucky agriculture type things. We've got a really neat large Kentucky plaque that Debbie's son-in-law made that we want to get hung on the wall. And that's, again, another project for our men.
So creativity didn't just stop with us. Our daughters and sons-in-laws, they helped us some too. So one of the reasons we started naming the rooms was when I traveled, our bank main office was in Stanford, Kentucky, and they redid old houses. And I come back and I said, Lori, they have names on their rooms. We need some names for our rooms. So we come up with some different ones, and then we went from decor with that. So anyways.
This room's got the fireplace. That's one of the 4 that's in the house. And that one was paneled over with some white paneling, and we took it off. And so it's a little more intact. Again, it has the original mantel. And this is the only room that has hardwood floors left. The other rooms, the floors were either already removed or had been damaged. And so under this paint is hardwood floors that we found when we pulled up old linoleum and carpet.
I guess a couple of years ago, of course it was during the height of COVID when it all started. We remodeled our daughter's bedroom, and of course all the hardwood floors in our house are the original hardwood floors. Our house was built in the early 50s, late 40s, and of course they were very well taken care of, and we were kind of timid on redoing the floors. We didn't know if we wanted to varnish them or what we wanted to do, so we ended up painting her hardwood floors in her bedroom, and it looks like the exact same color that we painted her hardwood floors. And of course we kind of matched with a lighter blue on the walls, but it's really cool because a lot of people wouldn't. They would be like us. We were timid. We were scared to paint the hardwood floors because they were in such good shape, but it brings out the hardwood, I think, when you do those kind of things. But this bedroom is beautiful.
So back to the floors. Evidently, back in the day, it was common to put a rug in the middle. So these floors were unfinished in the middle, I guess where a rug was, and then around the edges, they had painted the floors. So when we pulled back the old flooring, we find painted and then just totally unfinished in the middle. So we weren't sure what to do with that, so we just ended up painting.
Well, this room is beautiful. I like the name too. So it's I like the view that you would have out this window here, waking up in the morning. It's pretty. It's pretty out here, regardless. Anyway, though, whichever room you stay in, but to have that view.
We think so too.
We like the country setting, but not all of our guests are accustomed to that. So it has been an adjustment for some of them, getting used to the quiet and the country setting. So it has made a few a little nervous.
Well, it's relaxing though. I know that. It's of course I know a lot of people get used to the TV and the internet and get away from it and just come here and read a book or just to chill out for a little bit is really cool.
Well, we don't have TV at this point. We do have some internet to offer. So the plug-in and the connection is kind of gone here, and maybe just come for a relaxing night or a couple nights. We have had some long-term guests that stayed, for a week, that they were traveling and visiting. So we're not just a one-night accommodation. We have had some that have a prolonged stay with us.
But that's the whole idea of way, with coming here is to unplug. So I think that's great. I think I would do without the TV. So just to have the peace and quiet and the country setting would do me fine.
And if you look in the foyer, if she'll show you the ceiling, this was an adventure. Of course, they had layers and layers of stuff stuck to their ceilings. And so Lori decided we're going to take that down and we're going to clean that wood. Well, she took it down and then we got to cleaning and it was taking forever. And then there was all these little nails and tacks in it. Well, that was another project trying to get all that out. Well, this is where it started and ended because with Lori it took about 8 to 10 hours just to do this little square. Wow. So we gave up on the rest and we kind of just sheetrocked over it. And, but we just love it, how it turned out after we put polyurethane on it and little stains. So.
I love the natural wood look.
But it turned out really good, so good.
So, like she said, our plan was the 2 bedrooms and this room and the 3 rooms that are under us all had this wood. But the really thick wallpaper that was on there was just a nightmare to try to get off. And the husbands weren't really into scraping.
And helping with that.
And so it was going to be just a very time-consuming project. So we ended up with this one little space, and so we can point at it and say this is what could have been, but isn't it neat right here in this one spot. This light fixture was one that my grandmother had in the house. So there's 2 that we have in the house that we kept from when she was here, and then the others we've bought new.
That's really neat that's original to the house. Is this where it was originally? Or
This is where it was.
The stairs come up through this little hole somewhere, and that was at the top of it. So Miss Joanne took it, her mom, and cleaned it. I would have gave up on it, but she took it and scrubbed it and cleaned it, and it looks pretty. So
it is pretty, very pretty.
So this is the magnolia room. This is our 3rd bedroom. And it kind of has the French country feel to it. That was kind of our goal there. It's the only one with a king-size bed. The others have queen beds. And it has its bathroom around the corner there. It also has the original mantel. That fireplace was plastered over as well. And then after the ordeal down in the living room with that fireplace, we did not open it up. So our husbands just took some old wood there and kind of covered that to make that a little more appealing.
Yeah, well, it's still pretty the way you have it there.
And Lori wanted a color to go with this room because we had apparently turned it to like a tan or beige, and we talked about it, and I said, I thought green. So I talked her into green. So the bathroom is green.
Okay.
It's got a real pretty color green, I think. I love it.
Yeah.
Between the 2 of us, we picked it out.
It's something I've noticed. It's nice and cool up here too.
Oh, yeah,
Is it stay this way during the summer?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have air conditionings in all the rooms, so we try to keep it as cool as we can.
That is a pretty color.
Yeah.
Seems like that's the color of our hallway at home. We've got a green.
And normally you don't see a green bathroom, so we just thought it would be something different to do and a little bit of color.
You'll notice that we used an old dresser as our vanity in there. So again, another project. Our husbands cut the top out and added the sink, just to give it that old feel.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you guys have repurposed a lot of stuff.
We tried to. We have, like I said, it was a 2-year project. So Debbie and I picked up just pieces of furniture here and there, and just tried to match them in a room and make it flow.
There were several days I went to work with paint in my hair or on my skin or just everywhere. I was about getting tired of paint, but somebody had to do it.
Like we said, we're not professionals, so any of the jobs done, it was a learning process, and mess up and back up and regroup.
Yeah.
But
well, you never could have fooled me, because this is very professional the way it looks, and I know it was time consuming, but it was worth it.
Oh, yes, sir.
it was, like I said, a 2-year project, and Darren and Debbie had a little more experience with construction and remodel, but Ty and I did not have as much experience, but they taught us a lot along the way.
Well, guys, it's so pretty in here. So pretty.
One other feature I'd like to show you, Debbie talked about our heating and cooling units. We're used to central heat and air, but we've added these mini splits in each of the bedrooms, so each bedroom could kind of control their temperature. The reason we use those is the walls in the original house are really thick. They're 3 brick thick. And so if you look at the door facings or the windows, you'll see how deep they are. And the entry back into the event room, you can really get an idea of how thick the brick is. And the whole house, when they built in 1847, even the interior walls were these 3 brick thick. So they built it to last.
Yeah, so it's very well insulated.
It is.
It'll keep it.
So wintertime, I guess, does it stay?
We can warm up the rooms really good and quick because they all have a little unit, so those things really work out really good. So they are electric, so that does cost us quite a penny, but it's well worth it. So
That is so pretty, so pretty.
So a couple of events we've got coming up. Next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, we have our Mother's Day tea. We had one last year, and this is our second go of that. And we do have a few spots left if anyone's interested. It's just a neat afternoon for mothers, daughters, grandmothers, cousins. Last year we had like groups of 6 or 7, just the ladies in the family. And they just had a time to come together, eat some food, and we have some entertainment. And just bond with the ladies of the family. So if anyone's interested in that, we've got a couple spots left for next Saturday. That's at 2 on next Saturday. Okay. And then our spring market we've got coming up.
It's coming June 18th, and we are taking vendors' information and getting them a spot. So we're excited. This is the second year we're doing it. We didn't get to do it early like we did last year because we have a wedding for May 22nd. So we're excited, and I hope the weather is warmer. Last year it turned out very cool, but we had an awesome time and lots of fun. So if you're a vendor in Princeton or the surrounding areas and would like to have a booth, just give us a call or email, and we'll be glad to set you up. So.
Well, I know, guys, summer months, are those your busiest months?
January and February were a little slow. We had still showers and teas in our event room, but our guest coming was a little slower. And I guess, with vacation time coming up, hopefully we'll have guests again.
Yeah. Well, I know this is, and I'm sure, did COVID slow you guys down much?
We were doing the remodel for most of COVID, but last year when we opened in January, it was a little bit strained with COVID. And
Because you didn't have as many events and people weren't getting together, and that really picked up. I'd say the last summer it started really picking up. So people were doing events and get-togethers. So
It's good to see people get back to normal and come in here and
Yes.
enjoying this. And I know because it's so, guys, you just need to come out here and see it for yourself. Even if you live here in Princeton, just come on out here, and I know they'd love to take you in and just show you a good time. And I know breakfast. I love breakfast. So what's on the menu for breakfast some mornings?
well, we have several different menu items, but again, just the hot country breakfast. We do biscuits, gravy, scrambled eggs. Other mornings we'll do pancakes and bacon. We do French toast. Debbie does a really good egg in a basket.
it's good.
And we always try to do fruit with our breakfast, and of course coffee and juice.
So there's your reason to come right there is for the good
Coffee.
breakfast. Well, the coffee. You got to have the coffee, but that good country breakfast, man, there's nothing like a good country breakfast.
And
So
we'll fill you up too.
that's good. Well, guys, we're going to head back on downstairs, and but we want to thank you for tuning in this morning, and want to thank Lori and Debbie for showing us through, and got us such a pretty day out today, and there's no reason just to come by, just come and look at the grounds and see what they have to offer here. And like I said, it's so pretty out here today, and a beautiful, beautiful house with a lot of rich history, a lot of history that's still unknown, but as Lori said, if you guys know of any history about this house, let them know, and that way they can hopefully maybe come across some more photos to hang on the walls and show everybody the history here in Princeton. And because Princeton's full of rich history, and just to have this place here in Princeton to come and be a part of, and just get a weekend away here at home is great. But guys, Debbie,
Thank you.
Lori, thank you guys for allowing us in to this beautiful, beautiful home this morning. And guys, we hope you guys have a very blessed weekend and beautiful weekend ahead, and we'll see you next week. See you guys.